screws in, tiny little holes underneath the boiler. Why can't they just put it on for you in the factory? Where they've got a nice workbench and you turn it upside down.
What's up guys, happy Sunday. Thanks for tuning in to my latest video, The Life of a Jobbing Plumber, sponsored by Power Toolmate and Velocity Pro Gear. So, business as usual, really busy week this week. Obviously it's silly season, boilers breaking down left, right and centre. Me and Ben, a system conversion this week, fitted my first Worcester for probably 7+ years. So that was interesting, won't be fitting another one. And my regular jobbing stuff, as well as my dad's 70th birthday. Everyone who wished him a happy birthday, thank you. And those of you that wished him well after his stroke scare, he really appreciates all the messages, so thank you for that. And then you might have seen on my story, or if you follow me on Instagram or Twitter, this week I had a really interesting phone call with a van manufacturer. They've seen my November campaign and they saw me talking about van break-ins, tool theft on the Trade Legends podcast, and they want a meeting with me to talk about setting up a tradesman's security package on a new van. So what that involve, all the different things we could add onto a van to make them extra secure, fit for purpose. So I'm really excited about that. The more I know about that, when I've got the meeting, I'll let you know. But yeah, I hope you enjoy this week's video, and let me know what you think in the comments. Cheers. Right, this radiator's coming off and a new one's going in its place, and we're going to hang it to these pipes. And because they're coming straight out of the wall like that, there's not much play on it. So the way I'm going to do it is with my laser level on the pole, and I've lined that up, he says, with the centre of the valve. So now I'm going to take this radiator off. Right, that's the rad off. So obviously the first thing I did was try to hang the new rad on the original brackets, just in case by a miracle it would fit, but it didn't. The new brackets are slightly bigger, so just slightly not right. So we'll whip these off now, and then we're going to use the laser line to hang on new brackets. Right, this is the new rad. I've offered the bracket on. So the easiest way to explain this, I've got my laser set up that's running right through the middle of this tap-in. So I'm going to measure from the middle of this, where my laser line will be, to the bottom of this bracket, which is, say, 22 mil, 23 mil. So from my laser on the wall, 23 mil up will be the bottom of this bracket. Okay, so laser's going through the centre of the valve, and this is all upright. I've measured that for the bracket. So now this is going to go on there like that, 23 mil above that bottom laser line, once I've measured it. So you can see you've got the laser going right through the middle of that valve. There's the bottom line, there's our 23 mil above, and that's our vertical line there, the red mark. So then we're just going to drop this on there like that, fix that to the wall, and that should be perfect for hanging the rad to go straight into that. So there's no play on that. And then totally up to you. Once you've done your first bracket, you can do the same again, measure off the bottom line up, or you can just set it to the top of that. So I've set my laser to go on the top of that bracket. So my new one, the top of this one will be there. Really bright in here because it's middle of the day. You can still clearly see the laser because it's green. This is why I use a green laser, not a red, because a red is really faint. I mean, we're already losing it as we sort of get to there. You can still see it, but if you are going to buy a laser, if you've not got one, make sure you get a green one. So that's the rad on the wall. And the height of the valves is a spotlight. Lovely. So that's one done, got another one to do now. I'm not going to show you the same thing again, just one thing about getting a laser with a pole. Obviously you can get stands, tripods for your laser, but the pole, in my opinion, is the best. Dead easy to put up. It screws down to sort of this height, and then you just extend it up. Squeeze this to get it onto the ceiling. And now that should be on the floor, but I always put that on the ceiling because then I can take my level down, right down below to touch there. And these are great because a tripod probably starts about this high. So if you're going lower, which we are, tripod's no good. So get yourself a pole, and you'll use this for everything. I use it all the time, my laser. It's just so much easier, and obviously it's precision. I don't think I've mentioned what model it is yet. Obviously you can get loads of different ones. Mine's the Stabila LAX50G. Takes batteries, 3 AA batteries. Battery life's all right, but you can get ones with rechargeable batteries in. Milwaukee have just brought a new one out. I think Bosch have always done a decent laser level, but as long as you get a green one, you'll be sound. And then it folds down to that sort of size, and that's just in my van. About the same size, height as my step ladders. If you're looking for a work management app, one that you can book your jobs in, do landlord gas certificates on, invoicing, quotes, email stuff direct to your customers, link up with your accounting systems if you use like Sage, QuickBooks, stuff like that. And if you've got multiple engineers, multiple plumbers that you want to use on the same software, check out Tradify. It's the app I use to manage my workload. I've shown you a few things that you can do on it. One of the features I like is that at the start of the day you get a list of where your jobs are for the day, and you also get pinpoints on the map where you're going to be, so you sort of know when you head out the door in the morning where you've got to go, and then you can plan your route to finish nearer home. But if you want a 14-day free trial, and if you like it, you can subscribe and get 50% off for 3 months if you use the code PB Plumber. I'll put a link to the app, to the trial, in the description to the video. Let me know what you think. Right, new job. Love that tree, by the way. Parked right outside, which is nice. So this is a system conversion. So that's the old floor standing boiler, balanced flue, which I've already started to take out. So if we go in the kitchen, fitting a Worcester 4000, one of the new ones. I've not done one of these yet, so that'll be interesting. So this is where the boiler is, floor standing boiler. We've got a flow and return. They go down, across under here, and then up. I can't see them any further up. So that's coming out. These two pipes, we don't need manual anymore, so that'll be redundant. The gas needs to be capped because we have got a gas hob there that needs to stay connected. Program obviously will be changed to a wireless, I think it's a Comfort 2 on the Worcesters, so that'll be going. So the boys going upstairs. We are changing, because this system's not had any work done to it for years, like probably since the 70s. We're definitely changing this radiator because it's got a pinhole. See the rust there, it's been leaking. So that radiator's being changed while we're here. We're not doing any others at the minute. The story behind this job is, it's an elderly couple, it's a lovely house and they're lovely people. They've moved out while we do the job because the chap's not very well. So we're going to get it all done with minimal disruption while they're away. So I'll just show you upstairs. So hot water cylinder is in here. I've already started to, I've drained that down, just starting to decommission it now. So basically, so the combi's going in here, just got to alter the pipework. That's the 2-port valve for the central heating. And that's the return from the central heating. So we're going to cut them and they'll go to our new boiler there. Hot and cold, obviously that's the hot there. This is a hot that someone's put in extra in speed fit, which is a bit shit. And then we've got cold, tank fed cold there, and mains cold, which is this 15mm one. So I've got to get them, probably take them under the floor, up to the combi, hot and cold. Those two there are hot and colds down to the kitchen,
And then let me just put the flash on. So we've got hot water flow and return, and then the heat into there. But these will be redundant anyway, so they'll just be obviously drained and then cut out as far back as we can. That's the cold. This one here with the gate valve on is the cold feed into that. So that'll be gone. So I'll just show you up in the roof. Yeah, then that speed fit for this bathroom. Someone's put a new bathroom in here, which is kind of nice. I love that mirror, but that toilet is way too close to the wall. Believe me, I've already tried to sit on it. It's not great, but anyway, so have a look up in the roof. So we got hot water, a cold water storage system for the hot water cylinder, and then probably next to it with the polystyrene jacket on it is the header tank for the heating system. So this is all going to be stripped out as well, which I'm going to get on with today. Well, that was good. Just bent this down out of the way so I could disconnect the immersion, and the ring pulled out of it. Obviously it wasn't very tight or done up at all by the looks of that. And the earth's out, for fuck's sake. My favourite rip out tool, the Milwaukee, what's it called? C12PC pipe cutter. Took me a while before I got one of these, saw people using them, but I'm so glad I did because it's one of my favourite bits of kit. Uses the Milwaukee M12 battery, and yeah, ripping out, it's just the best. So we'll do the 15mm pipe first. Basically you reset it so you get that back in its starting position, and then you flick it over to cut mode. Just push it onto the pipe like that. It has to sit in those two wheels. And then you just pull the trigger and then reset it, and that should be cut. You reset it and then you just push it onto your pipe. So this is a 22mm pipe, although this might be imperial because we're in such an old property. Squeeze the trigger. Once you think it's cut, I mean it's normally obvious, but this is imperial pipe, so it's not as easy. Reset it so it comes off, and that should be, just need a little bit of persuasion because it is imperial pipe. Cuts it. Try it now on the 28. You don't have to do anything other than reset it again. So once you finish cutting, it resets, put it back to cut mode, and then we'll try it on this 28mm pipe. There we go, straight. Sometimes the hardest bit can be resetting it after a cut, but we've done 28mm there. So 15, 22 or 3/4 imperial pipe with a bit of a wiggle at the end, and 28mm pipe. Power tool, mate, if you've not got one, get one, they're awesome. Right, so I'm up in the roof space. I have cut these two. Now this one was the cold feed to the shower. This one was the cold to the hot water cylinder. And I've just cut them for now and turned them up so any dregs of water aren't dripping out. Obviously, cold main to fill that tank. That's the vent from the hot water that tees off above the cylinder. So that just hangs over there. And then they obviously all go down into what was the airing cupboard. It's now going to be the boiler cupboard. So what I'm going to do is cut them all back. I've just took all this lagging off, this hair felt stuff, so I can strip these pipes out now. And then we've got the header tank for the heating system at the back there, which I've not got to yet. Obviously we've got the cold feed and vent pipe coming out of the cold feed vent there, and then the cold mains which tees off downstairs on the ceiling. I don't think I've shown you that yet, but basically this 15mm pipe here, before it comes up there, tees across to come up to that, all gone because there's no cold mains that goes to the shower. That's all off the tank, so I'm not got to worry about leaving any pipework in. This can literally all be cut out and cut back. Put me in it.
Main man's in now. He's just about to core the hole out for me using his nice new core drill bit. So I got this to do a review on my YouTube channel a few weeks ago, and I had two. I had a set to give away to keep like new for a photo, and a set to use. I kept the used set, and Ben somehow got the brand new set. How did that happen? Right, so jig's on. I'm going to now start tidying this up somehow. Pipework. I've cut the flow and return back. They're going to come out. Just got to decide what I'm doing with the hot and cold. Whether I tee off here, below. I've got to connect these two speed fits to the hot and colds. I can't get it all under the floor because it's so tight on bends and on old pipe. So I've just got to do my best with it. So I took a couple more boards up so I can see what I'm doing. There's an RSJ there. So I have cut those copper pipes that are redundant now. Ben's just taken the boiler out below. So yeah, easiest thing would be now for me to connect these two flow and returns. They can come through this. That's already been notched because they came all the way to the end there. So get the flow and returns in, and then think about what I'm going to do with the hot and cold, because that's going to be my biggest headache, I reckon. Just tell it, was it tight to get out?
It was very tight to get out. No movement on the pipes, gas pipe coming through on the right hand side. So it was a bit of a cut the pipes and grab it with a wet vac.
So that's coming out now. I guess we'll put a block in this side today to fill that, and then we'll worry about the bricks another day. Because we need to get the new one in and on and the heating back on. Signs of spillage. Can't tell. Right, so I've just offered the first 22mm pipe in, and it's hitting this hot and cold, which is fine because I can put dog legs on all of these pipes, but that's labour intensive. So what I'm going to do, because this is quite messy how it is, I'm just going to cut the 15mm hot and colds on the left so they're out of the way. Then all of these pipes can come straight down into the floor, and then connect the hot and cold on further up, which means I'll have to tee. Well, I'll work it out, but I've got to get onto these two, and I've got to get onto these two that go to the kitchen, but cutting them out of the way so they're not in my way, I think is what I'm going to do. Just messing around at the minute, offering, see what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to run this 22 here onto that one, and then everything else can come in front of it. I don't know, anyway, just working it out in my head at the minute. This was always going to be the danger. Just dropped my Wearer chisel driver down there. Never to be seen again. I better start not putting things near the fucking trapdoor. The trouble with Ben is he keeps saying things that are good YouTube content when I've not got my phone with me. Right, repeat what you just said, word for word.
Word for word?
Yeah.
PB top tip, laser level. Drop my laser level on the valve centre, mark the wall, and then put the brackets on the back of the radiator, measure up from the bottom of the radiator to the bottom of the bracket, and there's your line. Perfect.
It worked well. You saw that on one of my videos?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, YouTube.
What were we saying about laser levels?
I always thought they were a bit of a gimmick. It's now one of my most used bits of kit.
Just make things a bit easy, don't they?
Yeah.
Obviously it's a faff setting it up, but once you've set it up,
Just get it right every time.
Yeah. So Ben's doing the radio. I'm piping up the boiler upstairs. I'm going to show you how far I've got with that. So I've got my new 22mm gas in. My flow and return are both connected and joined on. And now I'm just working out. I've cut the hot and cold out of the way. I'm working out whether to put a T in there, carry on and up. What I'm going to do with it really, I've just resigned the fact to, just because it's really nothing to do with us, this bathroom. We're just going to put those copper tails in there and connect them on, because I don't want to have to alter all that if I can help it. And that's what I'm doing at the minute. He's just telling me how much he hates these PRV discharge. Fucking shit. So just explain why you have to get that in before you hang the boiler, because if you don't, you won't get the... Go on, tell me.
Because when you try and get it on the boiler connection, if it's even slightly off square, which it is now because the jig's plastic and moves around, it doesn't make the connection on the PRV, and you really struggle to get that knurled nut with your fingers in to actually tighten it up. It's just a really bad design. I mean, Worcester made a bad design on the Junior and the SI, and this one's not much better, to be honest.
Worcester seem to always have something with them that people hate, like the PRV at the back.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about the Worcester jig, whether they think a jig's a good idea, no one else does a prefixing jig like this. And then they give you a jig that's not even square, so it's hard to make the connection. But everyone else just gives you a wall hanging bracket, which is much easier, with tails coming down to make the connections. All this shit going on here, and who's it helping? It's not helping the installer. The Worcesters are the most awkward fit out of all of them. If this had been a Baxi, we'd have had it fitted ages ago by now. It puts at least an hour on the job with all this.
I wish she'd gone with a Valent.
Oh, yeah, so do I. I'm trying to get these fucking little screws in, tiny little fucking holes underneath the boiler. You know what I mean? Look. Without dropping the fucker, which I'm going to do in a minute.
I remember that when I used to be WAI, I remember these on the angle.
They just don't want to ever go in. Oh, God. No, it doesn't want to go. Well, I mean, what? I'm going to drop it.
Don't drop it, it'll go where my chisel driver went. Fucking black hole.
Get the fuckers in. Why can't they just put it on for you in the factory? Where they've got a nice fucking workbench and you turn it upside down. This is the bit that slows you down. The PRV connection, I've got it, on the boiler, when you've got the boiler on the wall, that can take you half an hour. Wasn't even that fucking lever out the way.
Oh, it's gone, it's gone.
Fucking varifocals. Not all plumbers are 25, you know, with good eyesight.
For a posh plumber, you moan a bit, don't you?
I do.
Let's have a vote in the what you're gonna sell your van. What are you gonna get?
Land Rover.
Land Rover. But then you said, should he get a Range Rover and actually become the posh plumber? Would you employ a plumber working out of a Range Rover?
Or one with a Porsche.
Right, so you say it.
So I'm trying to press this bit of pipe coming out of this T, but as you can see, there's no way we're going to do that because we're on a funny angle on all sides. Actually, we probably would just get it like that, but I'm a bit worried it might just push out as it goes. So, as if by magic, we have a handle drawer, which allows us to get in really tight spaces. Make sure it's locked on.
So now your gun's at 45 and you can get closer. That's for the mini shock arresters going on there. Here's the paste.
We don't have an olive.
Yeah, I've got the olive.
Oh, have we?
So everyone who's always asking me what paste I use, it's this Laco Slick Tight, because you get a nice brush in the cap. The only thing is, like with solvent and everything, the brush isn't always the length of the tub, so you can't get the stuff at the bottom, which is a bit shit, so you waste half of it, but that's the paste.
Explain a little bit.
Right, last week's video I showed you the van bag, which is the seat organizer from Velocity, but they've just brought out, this is brand new, they sent me this week. I think it's called a quote pouch. So it looks like a wash bag, but you've got a zip pocket on the front. This is leather, so there's a zip pocket on the front like that, and then on the inside you've got 2 internal pockets as well as the big storage area, and then it comes with this little notebook with a magnetic strip, so it's like lined paper. So I think the idea is that you take this into a job when you're doing a quote, and probably put in there maybe a tape measure, some basic tools, maybe like a wear gauge if you're quoting for combis, if you want to check the flow rate. Maybe your you could put your pressure gauge in there to check your dynamic and static pressure. But that's a little bag like that. And then they've got this, which is a laptop bag. It's like shiny waterproof material, leather at the bottom, and then one big zip, and then on the inside you've got a separate, I can't see that, it's too dark, a separate pocket there. So they've literally just come out, laptop folder, and I think this one's called the quote pouch, QP 0.5. I'll leave a link to them in the description for the video. And also, while I've got you, I updated my Apple Watch. This is the Series 7. But if you're looking for like a tough strap, I had my old one was black, but I bought this green one off Amazon. It's a Spygen. I just put in, what did I put in originally? I think I put in G-Shock Apple Watch strap, and this one came up, but I love it. Probably one of the nicest straps I've owned. Yeah, if you're interested, just search Spygen tough strap if you've got an Apple Watch.
Now,
yeah,
but recording.
Yeah.
So when you get a Worcester out of the box, it comes. Take the case off. You can see it comes with little plastic covers underneath where all the connections are made. And what they do is they first test fire it in the factory, and then when they put the little covers on, they leave it full of water, so that when you're in your customer's house and you take the covers off and pick your boiler up to carry it upstairs over their nice carpet, it's all full of water.
And your socks.
So why can't they just take the water out for you? That's it. Normally it's all over my shoe.
There's got to be a reason. Someone will know why they leave a bit of water in the boiler. Yeah. To go rusty and fuck up all the components.
And get wet socks.
Soggy sock.
It's a good point though, isn't it?
Yeah, I know Baxy's do it. You get that polystyrene tray that's part of the boiler box. You're supposed to leave on to catch the water a bit.
Yeah, just take the water out. So, best thing to do is twist that one out of the way. Just stand back a sec. What happened to the rubber washer?
So are you doing the this PRV?
Yeah, so do that first.
Right,
because you'll see.
Let me get the camera in so I can put it on. Sausage fingers.
Oh.
I think you should start your own YouTube channel where you just slag off boilers that you don't like.
Where I just moan a lot.
Yeah.
It's just.
I think everyone wants you to drop it, so you start swearing.
I'm going to drop it again. Is that one falling off? It's just.
It's so frustrating, I can see, because you've got your hand flat and your fingers trying to hold something in place.
I want to get the washer in first, inside the nut.
Yeah, there you go. Got it.
That's the easy bit.
Is it on?
No.
Let me see if I can get my hands in.
half the problem is the little shitty plastic jig they give you doesn't sit square. If you have a look, can you see how it's out of square?
Yeah.
So you kind of manipulate it in.
Let's swap, let me have a quick go.
No.
Go on. This just reminds me when I used to work with Kev. It's exactly what used to happen. Go on, let me have one go.
Go on then.
Yes.
Come on. Right, you have to put the washer in as well.
Oh, cheers.
Can't have it.
Oh, you cut your finger?
Probably. Yeah.
Worcester. Typical Worcester.
Need for them. I'll do it one-handed, aren't you?
Right, you hold the phone.
Right. Make it look easy. I want you to do it.
So let me get the washer in first. Right, washer's in. So I reckon I'm just going to kick that to the side a bit.
Come on. It's just getting it to catch the first couple of threads.
Yeah. Yeah, don't turn it, does it?
There's no access, is there?
You can tell just by looking at it that it's not. It don't want to go. It don't want to go on straight. Oh, come on, you bastard.
You got it?
Don't know. No.
It's easy to get it cross-threaded as well. If you get it cross-threaded, you're knackered.
Well, I couldn't do it. I got pissed off with it. Ben's having another go. Absolute wank design Worcester.
So far, Worcester, that's 2 heating engineers, £40 an hour. Half an hour we've been on it.
And we did that high flow last week. I didn't like that either. I thought that was cheaply made. I thought that was shit as well. Valent or Baxi for the win. And it's still got that horrible kebab heat exchanger in it that everyone hates. Right, I'll come back in 3 hours when he's done it.
Is that an hour?
That's a fucking piss take, that is, Worcester. We're not fitting any more Worcesters, that's it.
Done it. Yeah, we've had enough.
I've had enough of you, Worcester.
Lost that
If you're
washer
watching
now.
this. They're probably not watching, but if you are, if you work for Worcester.
Sort it out. Anyway. What's fucking wrong with them? Why can't we just extend it? Make it easier. Take it outside the boiler.
He's not happy.
I just like to moan.
It is a joke though. If we were doing really well for time, and that's proper slowed us down, pissed us both off as well. I was enjoying this job until then.
Hot and
Now I just
sweaty
want to go home.
Right. Oh, that's it.
Right, I've made you a cup of coffee.
I can't even get your nail under it. What a bag of shit. I know I shouldn't have bought that no-nonsense stuff.
We're putting some roll and stroll down underneath all the radiators because I'm going today and leaving Ben with the rest of the job. He's going to flush it, but also we're worried, we're changing the radiator valves and we're worried about getting the carpet, so he's putting the roll and stroll down, but
do it.
he's already fell out of it.
Yeah, I'm going to smash it in the garden.
No nonsense, apart from trying to find the start of it. So yeah, we're just going to protect all the carpets. One for while we're flushing, but also we're going to sort the rad valves now. Right, so flue's done. PRV fucking thing. Water's on. We're not filled the heating system up yet. That extra expansion vessel is connected because, not because it's a big system, but because it's an old system. The idea is we don't want the pressure to get too high, and with one expansion vessel in the boiler, the pressure's probably going to go up to 1.5, 2 bar, 2.5 bar when the heating's on. With the extra one, we're hoping it won't go much above 1 bar. Just less stress on the old joints. That's the idea behind that anyway. So I'm pretty much done today. I'm going to be here for another couple of hours, just helping start the flush. Yeah, and then that's it. So I'll see if Ben will do a video of commissioning the boiler. We've got, obviously that's got to have some trunking on the cable. That's what I did with the hot and cold underneath there.
Properly commission that boiler. What else have I got to do? Is there something else to do there? No, it's just commissioning the boiler, wasn't it? Just tidy it.